hear some words of wisdom and really hear the intent behind the program and what we're hoping to support you in during these next few months. And so, without prolonging the reason why we're really here, and that's to hear from the RAs, I'll turn it over to Lady to get us started with the presentations.
Thanks, Michaela. Sorry, one moment. Let me share my screen. Can you all see that?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yes. Okay, great. I'll mention, hello, I'm Lady Vanessa Reyes. I'm Program Specialist for RAP, and I'm very excited. We have a handful of RAs from Cohort 6 who are going to present to us their experiences for the past 7 months, and we're really excited to hear from you guys. I'll mention they are Dora Tovar from the Washington office, Joey Garcia from Region 3, Elise Dorr from the Pacific Northwest Research Station, Valerie Serrano Lopez from Region 2, Kenner Houghton, also from Region 2, and Andres Perez Centron from the International Institute of Tropical Forestry. I believe Dora is up first. You're on, Dora.
Hey everyone, thank you. My name is Dora Tovar, and I'm going to be talking about my RA experience. And my partner organization is Environment for the Americas. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about me. During this RA-ship, I finished up my master's degree in sociology, research, and practice from American in DC. I'm based out of DC and occasionally go into Yates, but not always. I like the remote life. And I'm doing my RA-ship with the National Partnership Office on the Diversity Development Outreach team. Next slide, please. So some of the work I've been helping my team with is with resource development. That includes just helping build out some of the resource developing efforts that they need, anything with writing information, developing talking points, or assisting with presentations, as well as supporting work geared towards the Equity Action Plan and identifying potential diverse partnerships, as well as looking into how other federal agencies evaluate their diversity data. With program management, I help with supporting needs on the Washington office, regional office, or field requests with equitable partnerships, as well as facilitating and organizing meetings, sending out documents for review, and helping build out the SharePoint site. I also help with finding new opportunities to raise awareness on the Equity Action Plan. Some of the training that I've been helping with, along with another resource assistant on my team, is leading and facilitating a peer-led DIA training. And we talk about topics such as grappling with unconscious bias, understanding the what and why of DIA, and reckoning with the histories of places and people. We also help with building out some equitable engagement tools for a service equity toolkit, and I've been collaborating with another team within our office on a peer learning series. Some of the sessions that we help with are with an equity lens. Next slide, please. And some of the professional development opportunities that I've been able to attend is the second annual Grants, Agreements, and Partnership meeting. I attended that in person in Atlanta, and I helped facilitate some of the activities and had some opportunities to network with people within the grants office, as well as my own office at the partnership. And I was able to go visit Yunque, and I learned about the partnership work that they were doing on their forests. It was very innovative, and I helped develop relationships with both the Washington office and their office on the forest. We shared expertise, resources, and knowledge, and I learned a lot from just seeing the actual work on the forest. It was really great to see that. And then I was able to visit one of our partners and down in Asheville, North Carolina, and it was just really great to see their perspective of what the work actually looks like from the partner side, and some of the barriers that they might have on diversity. It's really easy to say increase diversity, but it's another thing to see like what challenges they have. Next slide. And then I've been really fortunate to help out with the first 2023 Forest Service Summit. It's a training on advancing equity and upholding tribal sovereignty. It's the first of its kind, and we hope that will continue on in the future. I've been helping co-lead this subcommittee on cultural experiences and partnerships. So that just really means helping find opportunities to really highlight the cultural diversity of Albuquerque and help us kind of relate the work that we're doing to increase equity within the Forest Service. So that's something I've been really lucky to do. Next slide, please. And then that's it. If y'all have any questions or if you want to reach out, please feel free to do so. But that's all for me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dora. Got Joey. Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to preface this with this is not my space. I found an office to bum for this little presentation. I'm actually in the field this week in Arizona, so not Michigan where I'm from. And sorry, Dora, my drab presentation follows yours. So go ahead. Next slide, please. All right, so I work for Region 3 in the regional office with Anita Rose and Jack Tripke, who is with me right now. And I am lucky enough to be working from home in Michigan, but my office is actually located in Albuquerque. Next slide, please. So these are just some of the projects I've been working on. The very first thing I started work on was making the climate action strategy for Region 3 508 compliant. The carbon white papers was something we were all supposed to be working on in Region 3, but that has been delayed a couple of times at this point. Building the climate change SharePoint in cooperation with another RA who was actually from the Cohort 5. A life zone tour is really kind of like my baby for this whole project. It's essentially you can take anyone from the national office or the Washington office, I should say, on this little tour from the regional office when they come in or the RLT and show them where the work is actually being done rather than just talking about it sitting in an office all day or in a boardroom all day. Slide decks I've completed for important docs for Anita. We've started on ERU Guide Volume 3 and assembling a climate RA team to collaborate on projects. Next slide, please. So some challenges. This is like, as much as I would love to say this has been, sunshine and roses. There are challenges. My mentors at first were really worried about overwhelming me, but I'd go through my tasks pretty quick. So that led to a lot of boredom for a little bit until I really got into the swing of things and I started, hey, do you have something I can work on? Or hey, could I join this meeting? The delays in the Washington office guidance has led to delays in carbon white paper updates on all of our forests. And knowing R3 couldn't hire me almost immediately was a bummer, but because I almost immediately started looking for those resources to get hired on somewhere else. Next slide, please. So my accomplishments for this were awesome internship were the Life Zone tour, obviously, that I mentioned, influencing the update to the CCVA to be more holistic and include species that that would be overlooked just because of funding or their very niche areas. I've used my PD funds so much. I've been so many different places. Like I said, I'm in Arizona right now. I've been to New Mexico, Colorado, Minnesota, all sorts of opportunities that were from this internship. We published and I'm credited in the climate action strategy with the 508 compliance and the new volume of the ERU guide. I've had the opportunity to network with many people on the Huron Manistee, which is the forest closest to me in Michigan. And I've made a lot of awesome connections by not necessarily going along with the whatever the program is doing. Like we went, instead of a basketball game, we went to the aquarium, me and a couple RAs in Georgia. So next slide, please. So my mentors are really the leading edge of this program. I feel like they haven't been limiting me in any way. They're like, oh, you want to do chainsaw training, S212? Go for it. If you can find it, I'll give you, that week to do it or whatever it happened to be. And they gave me the contact and then they left the rest up to me. I had to reach out and talk to people and see what I could get arranged. Even in a remote position, they let me donate my time to the Huron Manistee and getting field experience. And so, I put in there the last 18 out of 21 days, I've actually not been home. I've been traveling elsewhere. So this is incredibly valuable experience to me. And yeah, go ahead. Next slide, please. This program was an incredible opportunity for me, and I've learned more than I ever really hoped. As soon as you're in the Forest Service, you hear so much more about the goings on and like in your area and the fires and how and why things are being managed a certain way. And then I think next is just slides full of pictures, so you guys get this reward for listening to me. So this is from the Huron Manistee. I was doing Massasauga work and endangered turtles. You can see a Blandings turtle in the bottom right, wood turtle is the top two on the right, and a box turtle, I believe, is the middle two turtles on the bottom. And then the Massasauga obviously are in these totes and bucket. Next slide. I think I have 3 slides of pictures. Sorry, guys. On the left, we have a blue racer. They're not endangered. They're just cool. And then these are the rest of the landscape photos are from my trip to New Mexico while we actually flushed out the Life Zone tour and made some of these places our stops. And one more slide, please. And then got a little more from New Mexico, but the rest is from Michigan. And you got a mud puppy in a bucket as the second picture on the top. And then these are fish while I was out electrofishing with some awesome fish biologists and volunteers. So yeah, and that is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Joey. Awesome. Whoops. Next, we've got Elise.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm going to start off by saying I apologize if my voice cuts in and out. I am in Southern California, and all that rain and the rapid change in weather has really done a number on my sinuses this week. So I'm okay, but if I start sneezing or anything, just bear with me. I am Elise Dorr. I'm a climate change communications RA with the Northwest Climate Hub out of Olympia. But as I've said, I'm remote in Orange County, California. Next slide. About me, so I am a part of Manners. My partner organization is Manners. My mentor is Jessica Holofsky. I know that's not necessarily about me, but anyway, I have a BA in English and then a Master's of Science in Integrated Natural Resources, and I focused a lot on urban and environmental planning. I am a working mom of 3. That picture of my face, actually, my kids are cut out of it just to keep them kind of out of the bigger picture of everything, but they were there. And then working for the Forest Service for me was actually kind of a career change. I spent 10 years in food and beverage in Las Vegas. And then I was also previously in digital marketing and social media management and SEO, which is search engine operative content writing. So I wrote for blogs and different articles for different products and companies online. Next slide. So some of my duties and responsibilities here at the Climate Hub, we do science writing. So our primary job is to research different climate change related topics that are of concern in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, and Alaska, Montana, Idaho, those areas. And we write articles for the website. We do a lot of other stuff though. So we practice. I'm sorry. I'm losing my words. My head is like so foggy. We participate in webinars and workshops. I got to go up to Olympia actually for a really cool assisted migration workshop, and I got to take notes. So we do a lot of that, a lot of note taking for different webinars that we put on, just so that way we can compile everything afterward and send them off to people if needed. We also do a lot of breakout groups for some of our different webinars. So I've participated in those and also taken notes for everything there. Training and education, I feel like as an RA, it's not just an opportunity, but kind of a responsibility to take advantage a lot of the training that we get exposed to. So even using things like AgLearn just to kind of find different areas of expertise, areas of knowledge that maybe aren't your specialty, I think it's really cool to be able to take advantage of that. And then we do a lot of team collaboration. We have a shared goal at the Climate Hub, and we like to take on creative projects that kind of use different parts of our brain that we don't use for science writing, so we can kind of keep fresh and find new ways to, you know, advance our goals. So yeah, next slide. So these are some of the projects and some of the different graphics that I've created for my articles. So I did one on urban forestry, which is where both of these infographics come from, because it's the only one that's fully published right now. I have an article on agriculture and economics, and then another one on mechanical fuel treatments that are in the editing and pre-publishing phases. I did some editing and compilation for our Oregon Coast climate change vulnerability assessment. And then I'm also working on a fact sheet for social justice. I've done some volunteer work, which is awesome. My mentor has been super supportive of me kind of finding opportunities for advancement and knowledge. And I got to work on the IRA UCF grant funding review teams. So I got to review a bunch of grants for that and kind of help score them. And that was an amazing experience. And that actually led me to meeting somebody in the urban and community forestry department, where I'm currently helping with some essay writing, which has been awesome. So again, like I said, training I feel like is huge, and it's something that we can all do. So I have been looking into grants management trainings, assisted migration workshop, which is what I did in Washington. I've been doing some GIS story mapping, but I'm gonna go ahead and call out Brian. I'm gonna need some more help on GIS because I'm not very good at it. And then I've done the UCF webinar series, which is just participating in the different webinars that they've been putting on, learning as much as I can about the program and the department. And then I've been doing the PA on Point webinar series as well, which has just been really awesome to learn a lot about what public affairs does, as that is kind of one of the areas that I'm most interested in for conversion. And then I've been doing Adobe training with my team. I have been using Adobe products like Photoshop and InDesign for quite a few years. So I've been helping them kind of convert and understand everything. And that has actually led us to doing an IG takeover, which is one of those collaborative projects that we were able to take on based on our shared creative sides and wanting to do something a little different, a little out of the box. So that's been fun. Oh, you're not good at it either. Sorry. Okay, never mind. We'll learn together. Okay, anyway, next slide. And then these are my biggest takeaways. I will explain the picture in just a second, but so I guess it's the English teacher in me that did 4 C's. I'm very sorry. It was funny. It wasn't meant to be that way at first, but compassion, collaboration, culture, and create. I do feel like when our mentors, our peers, our coworkers have said, great job, or like, we really want you to succeed. In my experience, it has been completely genuine and honest and from the heart, which has been amazing. Collaboration, like I said, we all have a shared goal at not just in my department, but in the Forest Service in general. We all are working towards something, and being able to share our experiences and share projects with each other has been a great way of learning and finding new avenues that you didn't know were there. Culture, that just has to do with we all have unique stories and backgrounds, and I love that we all celebrate that and honor that instead of just pushing it off to the side. And create. I mean, I feel like as RAs, at least in my experience, I've always been really nervous to speak up, but my team has always been like, no, tell me more, say something else, say something else. So learning how to use my voice and be confident in it is something that I'm truly appreciative of. And so this picture, so one of the awesome opportunities that the research and development team department offered us was a trip to DC. So this is all of us and me and Justin in the back being goofy because that's what we do. But it was such an awesome experience, and I am so grateful for everybody. We're a family. We're a big family. So if you ever need any help, any questions, anything that I can help you with, truly, you can ask. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elise. Next, we've got Valerie.
Hi, everyone. Enjoyed seeing everyone's slides. I am Valerie Serrano Lopez. I'm currently a permanent employee, but I previously was a research assistant for the winter cohort and the cohort before then. So I've been a research assistant twice, and I'm currently working for the Continental Divide National Scenic Trail Program in the Region 2 office. Next slide. Yeah, so quickly, I want to touch on my first RA ship. It was really important to me in the experience that I had. This RA ship was really on-the-ground district experience. I worked for the Columbine Major District in the San Juan National Forest. I learned about the agency and really how to navigate it. Sorry, I just received a, oh, there you go. And then I learned about the importance of mentorship and connections. And I also go by the Pensacola Powerhouse because I'm currently remote working from Pensacola, Florida, for the Region 2 office. Next slide. Yeah, so these are some of the projects I've been working on. One of the big ones is the Great American Outdoors Act multi-million grant proposal for a multi-region project, Tribal Youth Stewardship and Storytelling Trails Pilot Project, Cultural Framework Story Map Collection, and the CDT Junior Ranger Series. Next slide. Yeah, so for the GOA grant proposal, this was actually completed in my first month as an RA in this program. And it is a multi-regional proposal for regions 2, 3, and 4. And I kind of learned how to navigate the trails infra database, which is really fun. It was completely brand new to me. And I learned how to also navigate the infra NAP criteria and all the fun stuff that goes with applying for the grant. And we collaborated really closely with the Continental Divide Trail Coalition, our really big partner. And hopefully we are anticipating decision, and it looks pretty good for us. So hopefully we get the grant. Next slide. Next up is our Tribal Youth Stewardship and Storytelling Trails pilot project. So this is in collaboration with Ancestral Lands Conservation Corps and the Continental Divide Trail Coalition. So this is a pilot program that we are thinking of having boots on the ground in 2024 in hopes to have a trail crew that is completely Indigenous doing work on the CDT. And the idea is for there to be a storytelling component where the crew will learn about the tribes that are along the areas that they're working on. And so the idea is right now we're still planning on it. And if we do receive the Great American Outdoors Act funding, we hopefully can continue doing this kind of work and do the whole work across the entire CDT, which is huge. Next slide. And then next up is the Cultural Framework Story Map Collection. This is a continuing work effort with the previous CDT research assistant Amanda Grace. And what we're doing is hopefully publishing this collection that is really concentrating on the engagement with Indigenous communities. And it's a 4-part story map collection, and it's just providing resources. Specifically, our second story map of the collection is Indigenous published resources. And so it really walks people through a bunch of resources and how to engage with Indigenous communities and the importance of unlearning, which is kind of realizing your colonized roots of learning and then how to unlearn those roots. And so it's a really important story map in hopes that we can publish it this upcoming November. Next up. And then lastly, but not least, oh, there's no picture. Oops, sorry. So it's the CDT Junior Ranger series. This is a completely brand new project that we're working on in hopes that we can publish a multi-book series of the CDT concentrating on the different states. So New Mexico, Colorado, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and with the idea of having that Indigenous knowledge inside the Junior Ranger book. And we have a virtual student federal service intern joining us for this project, which I'm really excited about her joining our team. And so super great, super fun. And yeah, next up. And then traveling opportunities. I had the opportunity to do Hike the Hill in DC and meet Randy Moore, which is really awesome. Got to shake his hand, take a photo. It's like, oh my gosh, the chief. And then I also did the CDT Trail Days in Silver City, New Mexico, where we got to meet our partners there, which is awesome. And then we had the opportunity, or I had the opportunity to join a brainstorming session with the Indian College Fund brainstorming session in Santa Fe, New Mexico, along with the CDTC and other youth. So that was really awesome. And then I got the chance to attend the National Trail Administrators Roundtable in Selma, Alabama, specifically concentrating on the Selma to Montgomery Historic Trail. And so that was really great to be there and to meet some of the actual foot soldiers and to hear their stories. It was really impactful. And then just last week, just returned from it this Sunday, I completed the R2 RLMV Trails Tour in Colorado, where we visited different partners and districts in Central Colorado. And also another resource assistant joined me, Shabray Brown, who's on screen. So we had the chance to do this, and it was awesome meeting Shabray and everyone on the team. And then next up. Oh, and then what's next? I am a permanent employee for the Content to Divide Trail program in the Region 2 office, working with Ben Lara as a partnership liaison specialist. So really excited for the work I'm going to continue doing. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Valerie.
Of course.
Next up, we've got Kenner.
Hi guys, I'm Kenner Houghton. I'm a Climate Fellow Resource Assistant with Region 2. I am stationed in Durango, Colorado, and I also work for the San Juan National Forest. I worked with my mentor, Mark Lambert, who's on this call today. Thanks, Mark, for showing up. Glad to see you here. We can go to the next slide. So all the photos you'll see throughout my presentation are photos that I took while on field days, and you'll see some of my lovely coworkers in those photos as well as myself. I'm just going to take you through the work plan that I developed during my position, as well as some background on what that looked like, some projects that I worked on, as well as what's next for me after my fellowship is over. Next slide, please. So the goals that I established with my mentors for my 8-month fellowship were to make connections with multiple resource areas, lots of shadowing with different specialists, lots of field work, as much training as I could fit in, as well as a lot of project development. I really wanted to expand on my knowledge of government processes, law, regulation, and policy, as well as get to know NEPA and climate change integration on the project level and the planning level. I really wanted to gain experience and move towards a full-time position as a permanent employee with the USDA Forest Service. Next slide. So what I kind of gathered with what we wanted to do with my fellowship as a climate change RA was a very interesting experience, because the first climate fellow cohort was this winter. So we were kind of the guinea pigs for everything. We worked towards adding climate change as a resource area when we're considering NEPA projects and planning. I acted as a specialist in climate change related discussions and planning. So I got to sit in IDT meetings and help bring climate change up in some of our development, which was awesome. All the climate RAs also attended bi-weekly trainings provided by the Washington office. And what these were for was to provide us for resources and knowledge that would help us through our term, as well as provide us with connections for specialists across the US and the agency. Next slide, please. So I wanted to share a little bit about the projects that I worked on. Some of the photos you see here are from that. In terms of climate change, I actually did a lot of air quality sampling at multiple of our air quality stations across the forest. I got to analyze our forest level compliance with the 2021 USDA Climate Action Plan, which was a little intimidating. I presented to our forest leadership team, but it was a lot of fun and a lot of great discussion came from that. I helped interpret the CEQ greenhouse gas guidelines for greenhouse gas analysis on our fossil fuel projects in the San Juan Basin. I also conducted carbon and climate change analysis for multiple environmental assessments. A lot of those had to do with timber sale and fire mitigation. I was also the head of our San Juan National Forest Green Team. I got us some grants and we worked on a lot of projects together, including xeriscaping one of our bunkhouses with native plants and replacing UV filters in our bunkhouses, both of which were surrounded around water conservation. In terms of NEPA, I acted as a project lead for multiple categorical exclusions, including fen restoration, stream habitat rehabilitation, aquatic organism passage construction, as well as fuel breaks for fire mitigation. I got to be a member of a RART team for a litigation case that came up on our neighboring forest, the Rio Grande. And I also got to attend multiple IDT meetings for multiple districts on our forest, as well as public scoping events and open houses. I co-led stakeholder meetings with some of our partners and members of the public for well development and pipeline construction, and I participated in a lot of field trips to our project sites. Next slide, please. My favorite projects are on this slide, the first being our research natural areas. So on the Pagosa Ranger District, there are multiple proposed research natural areas that have not been officially established. So I got to work on the establishment records for those. I conducted site visits with multiple of my coworkers to get updated photos of the current ecological conditions of each of the RNAs. In the bottom left, you'll see a photo of a burn scar from one of our prescribed burns that we did on the PH, or research natural area. I'm also working towards getting our national monument, the Chimney Rock National Monument, which is actually my background as well, certified as a dark sky park. So we went out to the park and gathered a bunch of information about the dark sky quality. And I worked with members of Chimney Rock Interpretive Association, the International Dark Sky Association, and multiple astronomy clubs to get these readings and put the application together. And I'm really hoping that the application will be completed by the end of this year so that we can get our certification. I also shadowed a lot of specialists on site visits, did some water testing and air testing, and really just got to learn more about what each of the specialists do and what it takes to put on the projects that they do across the forest. Next slide, please. So what's next for me is I really want to just continue to develop and broaden my skills. And I'm actually really happy to share that I am most likely getting a permanent position with my forest as the NEPA coordinator for the Columbine District. I'm really excited to start that here in September. And I'm hoping that in the future, I can continue to work for government agencies like the Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and the Environmental Protection Agency. And along the way, I hope that I can pursue higher education because I just have a bachelor's degree now, but I'd love to just keep learning. But that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Awesome, wonderful, Tanner. Thank you so much. And last but not least, we've got Andres. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I am Andres Perez Intron. I am from Puerto Rico. I'm working here as a natural resources specialist and with the Community Wildland Fire Defense Program at the IITF. It's hard to say like the long name, so about International Institute of Tropical Forestry with the state, private, and tribal forestry program. So I'm gonna use this first slide to present myself because I see that everybody else says something about themselves, and I forgot like to talk about me in the beginning. So I will use this one just to say that I'm recently graduated from my master's in environmental planning, and I have a undergrad in wildlife management. And as you can see on this picture, I'm in a group of Bomba, Puerto Rican Bomba Puertorriqueña. That's it's always good. I always like to say it because it's really important for me to express my culture and the traditions and use that knowledge that I have in the work that I'm doing. So yeah, next slide. So I know that all of you thought that when I say that I'm working in the wildland fire community program here in Puerto Rico, I know that in your mind you are like, wildfires in Puerto Rico. Nah, I don't trust you. But yeah, that's the same reaction that I had when I figured out about the position, and somebody told me, Andres, you're a good fit for this position. I say, wildfires in Puerto Rico. But now that I'm inside the agency and that I'm working with the wildfires data collection and analysis, I'm like, whoa, there's like a lot of fires. Maybe they're not that big, some of them, but there's a higher incidence of small fires in the island. And it's an issue that we have to attend. So, sí, tenemos fuego forestal en Puerto Rico. So, next slide. So my major components and the principal work that I've been doing during this time, I've been doing the data collection and analysis about the wildfire data in Puerto Rico with the firefighters and different agencies that have data. It have been a hard work because bureaucracy and data are not like always clean. So I have to like t- send back all the information to the one who gave it to me, fix it, and all that. So that have taken me a long time. But it is everybody that I've been talking about is we are looking forward to the product because we don't have like wildfires data for Puerto Rico. So every time that we are trying to do some project or something, we don't have the data. So it's really important, this work that I've been doing. I've been participating in a lot of meetings with the Joint Chief LSR, this Landscape Scale Restoration Program, where I have there have been good because one of the the principal topics that they go for is to reduce and prepare communities for wildfires. So I've been working with that with the Department of Natural Resources in Puerto Rico, Fish and Wildlife, Forest, El Yunque, different nonprofits and private sector, everybody working together for the same goal. I've been coordinating the summit. It's what I've been doing this week. Right now, there's a lot of people outside in a field trip from the Virgin Islands and different part of Puerto Rico, um, just to explain the programs that we have in our unit. And I've been participating in a focal group of the wildfire community plans. It's the first one that they are doing for Puerto Rico, and that's the map that I showed you in this presentation is because I don't have like the full coordinates. I did this with geocoding addresses, so I can do that with smaller areas just to check out all the and to verify that all the data is precise. Next slide. But I've been doing a lot more than just working with data and working with collaborators and all that. I think, and I'm pretty sure that they're trying to make me the rap new face because I just entered without knowing it to the rap page to search for some information to give to other people, and I figured out that there I was literally on the first page with my coworker, like my Christina, and after that I saw my video that on other stuff that I was going to tell you. That video I didn't plan it. I was just making some company to the photographer, and he told me, what are you doing here? Let me just make you a video. And it was the first video that he published. And now they're using it to tell the stories about research assistant. So I'm getting used to cameras right now. I'm ready to go to Hollywood after this. So if I don't find a job in the first service, I will go to Hollywood. So remember my face, please. Saying that, next slide. You can go scan with your phones. You can scan this QR code, and it's gonna take you to the video where I am speaking and saying how it's important for me working for nature and natural resources and all the stuff and my history, and how important it is to me to make a difference where I am right now in my early career so I can leave a legacy when I get old. And I include another video where I am in two. I'm not the principal one on that one, but I am there. I can say that I'm in two videos or one and a half. Next slide. My favorite part of being a rap, everything but professional development funds. Because when they told me that I can use those funds for whatever that I need in a professional way, I say, okay, I need some help. Next slide. I need some help with grants. I don't know a lot about grants and grant writing. So I say, okay, smart decision. I'm gonna use those funds to certify myself in grant writing, and I've been doing a lot of other certifications with those grants, just to get a right use of that. But at the same time, next slide, I use the funds to travel and go to conferences. There's a lot of chances to go networking and learn a lot about what people are working in and know what they're doing similar to you, so you can approach them. So next slide. So the first one that I went to was to the S3 User Conference. Before working here, I worked for 2 years in a private company as a GIS analyst, and my bosses, they always went to this conferences, and I only assist online, and I really wanted to go there, and I loved it. I was like a kid in a playground, maps everywhere, a lot of people doing the same work that I've been doing, and of course I went to the wildland fire booth where I learned a lot about what can I use for my final product, and how can others help me to develop whatever that I'm doing, and with the wildfires data and all that stuff. Next slide. In this one, it was 2 weeks ago in Portland, Oregon. I went to the Ecological Society of America annual conference, and it was awesome to see myself in the picture that is in the middle. That was my first trip when I was an undergrad. So it reminds me where I am right now and all that I've been through. So it was like, it was amazing for me and it was just casualty. I see when I was a student in my undergrad. So it's always good to remember where we start and where we are right now, and to identify that we can help others to do this too and give the opportunities. And in that conference that I participated in, one leadership diversity meeting, where I recognize that I am a young leader, but I have to. Maybe I'm not the most that have more knowledge in wildland or in forestry, but I know that I can make an impact where I am right now to other students too, and help them to achieve their goals in conservation and whatever they want. So yeah, next slide. And I have an awesome team. Since the beginning, the picture that is in the bottom right, that was the first week when we started as a RAP. And it was a family meeting where they used like team building activity. And it was perfect for the beginning of a RAP, because we learned everybody we met everybody that is working over there. And we exchange different topics and interest. And we've been doing a lot of stuff in El Yunque, and playing bomba and showing people that I'm part of I know about culture and tradition too, and having a good time at the same time that I'm doing the work. So those are goals: doing what you want and what you like, especially when you're working. So next slide. I just want to thank all of you. This is just a brief presentation about what I've been doing. And I've been doing a lot of other stuff, but I wanted to put this picture at the end, because in one activity in the morning I disappeared for a few minutes, and people were saying that I was Smokey Bear, but I wasn't Smokey Bear. Here's the proof. In the afternoon, I took a picture with the Smokey Bear. So just to let people know that I wasn't Smokey Bear. I was disappeared for 1 hour, but I wasn't Smokey Bear. Yeah, so yeah, that's all for me. Thank you all for hearing me, and have a good afternoon. If you have questions, you can send it to me on my email, or just write it on the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andres. And thank you all for participating. 6 of you presented, but there were a few others who were interested in presenting, and for just logistical or technological reasons, it just didn't happen. But I so appreciate your time and energy to present to your cohort and peers. Now we're going to switch a little bit. We do have a keynote speaker, and actually RAP Washington office also has an RA, Michaela Pryor. She will introduce the speaker. Go ahead, Mimi.
Hi, everybody. So Greta Smith resides in Northwest Washington and has spent the last 4 years as a Darrington District Ranger in the beautiful North Cascades. Greta grew up roaming the woods around the Pacific Northwest. Much of her career has been focused on environmental planning with the Army Corps of Engineers and the Forest Service. During college, Greta volunteered on the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest and worked as a wilderness ranger for the Mount Baker Snoqualmie National Forest. Those two experiences cemented her desire to work for an agency which shared her core values of service to others and land stewardship. Greta is excited to serve as a line officer for the newly created Workforce Entry Team. The team's mission is to grow our workforce in a way that is representative and inclusive of our diverse society. Is something she wholeheartedly supports. When Greta is not working, she is out on her bike or out on the water with her husband and 2 dogs.
Hello, thank you, everyone. So thanks for the introduction. I am Greta Smith, and I have been with the Forest Service for about, gosh, time flies, 9 years now. So I first want to do a sound check. My internet has been in and out all day. Can everybody hear me okay? Great, I see thumbs up. Awesome. Wow, this has been really inspiring and just really lovely hearing each of you share your experiences. And I just feel very fortunate and lucky to know that we have you all kind of in the Forest Service corner of the world doing good work for us. And so I'm thrilled with the amount of knowledge and skills that you brought to your experience, and I look forward to seeing you continue along in your workforce. And you know what? I'll just say it right now. One of the best parts of my job as a district ranger is to see and watch other people grow. And so I'm really excited. I'm going to see your name out there in the world, and I'm going to be like, I watched that person, and I got to kind of learn about how you started out your career. And so I'm super excited. I'm super excited for our future as an agency, and I'm super excited for you as a person as you navigate your growth in this world. And so, our journeys are shaped a little bit by the values and the visions that we bring to our daily working life. And, sometimes it doesn't always go the way we think it does. And so I'm going to share a little bit of my journey with you. And hopefully that will kind of tell the story a little bit of why I shared why it may not always go the way that we think. I started out my career thinking I was going to be a paramedic firefighter. And so when I started college as a young 18-year-old, I was a volunteer firefighter and was working towards my paramedic certification. And then about 2 years into my college experience, I was informed that I was no longer going to be eligible as a paramedic candidate due to my disability. And so as a young deaf person trying to navigate and figure out what do I do next, I had spent 2 years trying to figure out where I was going to go. I had a professor say, hey, Greta, you know what? You need to go be a GIS specialist in Australia for 4 months. And that would kind of be equivalent of my RAP internship. I pursued that as an undergrad, and I spent 4 incredible months just learning about how to navigate GIS and how to integrate with fire management and how to integrate with conservation management. And really that experience had shown me a whole different world that I had never even thought about before, and that kind of shaped my future. I started pursuing a master's degree in natural resource management and volunteered for the local Forest Service in the Okanagan-Wenatchee in Washington. And from there, I was able to apply for and receive a pathways position with the Army Corps of Engineers, starting out as a GS-9 and moving on up through the career ladder to a GS-12 as a national NEPA coordinator, so an environmental coordinator. So my fellow NEPA geeks out there represent. I believe that policy, we are grounded in the policy that we work with. And so it's integral to our agency. From there, I worked with the Army Corps of Engineers for about 7 years, and then my husband and I decided, hey, you know what? We want to move back to a community that shares our values and our desire to be outside. And so we were living in Portland at the time, and we wanted to move back to a smaller community, and I wanted to move back to an agency that I felt was more reflective of the work that I wanted to do, and that was the Forest Service. I took a downgrade, and it was probably the best decision that I've made in my life to take a downgrade, because I really do think it kind of kickstarted my career in the Forest Service. I started out as a district environmental planner, so working with NEPA, and then throughout that time moved around the state of Oregon and moved up through just tried out different jobs. And then somebody said, "Hey, Greta, you should go be a district ranger." So here I am. And so, the lesson that I take from that is sometimes just maybe your mentors or maybe your friends have an idea and see a part of you that maybe you haven't explored yet. And so just keep your ears open, be open-minded, and just be curious about the potential opportunities that you have coming your way. So that's a little bit of my background. And you know what? I am just amazed by all the things that you have done. I am really heartened by the amount of work that's gone into the development of information around diversity and inclusion. This is truly one of the keystones of the agency. And I think by you bringing your voices and your ideas into the room really helps us understand what we need to do to improve as an agency and to expand as an agency. I do believe that you all are bringing a modern approach to an agency. Your work around the 508 upgrades are very important and crucial in providing information out to our society. Also, very near and dear to me here on the Mount Baker Snoqualmie is the work around tribal engagement. And this is very much a key part of what we are. And the co-management with our landscape, co-management with our partners, making sure that we understand and hear the values that our community brings to us is integral in the work that we do. I am really proud of the work that you all bringing toward the climate change front, and this is a tough reality, and because of you, we are able to face that tough reality. We're seeing increases in storms, we're seeing increases in wildfire, and how we show up to that challenge matters. And so the fact that you all are showing up and showing your face and just kind of rolling up your sleeves and saying, all right, what can we do? How can we help? That matters. Do you want to talk a little bit about how we represent ourselves? And, I think one of the things that we are working on, I'm a part of the workforce entry engagement team. And right now we are just trying to bring in people into the agency. So the reality is attrition is higher than the amount of people that we're bringing in. And so we're seeing this as an opportunity to increase our diversity and increase what we see as a representative workforce to our local communities. And so we just want people that see themselves in this agency. And so I hope, and please do share out with us, do you see yourself in this agency? If not, what does it look like? How can we make that so that you can see yourself in this agency? And so your voice matters, your input matters, and we're trying to make sure that this is a place that you want to work, and that the values that we have is a value that you feel like you're proud of carrying forward. I'm just really inspired by the work that you're all doing, and I am excited for your future. You are the future. of the federal workforce. And I really do hope that we continue to bring you in and build you in the Forest Service. If you go to BLM, that's great. You know, the BLM is our sister agency. I'll be a little bit selfish here and say I hope you don't. You know, we need you here in the Forest Service. Thank you so much for your time and for inviting me to be a part of this moment. I see a bright future for all of you.
All right, thanks so much, Greta. We really appreciate your words, and like you, I'm inspired too by everything I've heard, and the different ways that these RAs are contributing to our model to care for the land and serve people. With that, can we open it up for questions? If anyone has any questions, please go ahead and use the hand raise feature or come on camera, or we can monitor the chat too if you prefer to share there. Does anyone have any questions? I see some thank yous. All right. All right, come on. We're giving you your chance. Maybe not right now, Greta, but hopefully, if folks do have questions, drop them in the chat and we'll get to them. So one thing that I'll say is that one of the great things I've always felt about working in this agency is the ability to kind of meet new people and do new things so often. And so this spotlight has really just showcased the variety of things you can do in the Forest Service. And I'm always amazed because every year I'm learning about different positions and different projects in the agency, and it's just really encouraging to kind of hear about those today. And so thank you for sharing, Dora, Joey, Elise, Valerie, Kenner, and Andreas. We really appreciate it. And so before we're closing, I'd love to invite any of our RAP liaisons who are online, and these are the folks who are working with our RAs and the RAP program to make sure that everything goes well. And if any of you online are interested in kind of coming on and sharing anything, sure, I see Dixie, you have your hand up. Come on, Dixie. I'm happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I just want to thank all of our RAs for outstanding presentations. I really enjoyed them so much. And my thanks to our guest speaker. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Dixie Porter. I am the Deputy Director in the Office of Sustainability and Climate, and I am also the Climate Liaison. So we have many climate RAs, 20 or 19, I guess, in this cohort, and I'm working with many folks to try to find permanent placements. So glad to hear about some folks that do have a permanent position, but if you don't, please feel free to reach out to me, and just glad to meet everybody. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks, Dixie. Yes, Greta?
Yeah, thank you for the reminder. So we do have a new tool that is excellent, and it's called BOC. So the Forest Service loves their acronyms. I think it stands for Forest Online Explorer. And so if you want to pop that link in the chat, or we can bring it up on here on the screen, there are so many opportunities out there. And really, I think just you can really kind of carve the path that you want to take. And so if you just take a look at this tool, this kind of told you the upcoming jobs that we have with the Forest Service. And this has anything from entry level, mid level, and senior level positions. And so what's exciting about this is you look at this map of the United States and you just see all these positions, all these little dots and all these little trees are positions that are open right now or about to open. So I encourage you to take a look at this tool and really kind of just daydream about, okay, hey, what's the next step? You know, what does it look like to go to the, it will tell you a little bit about the job. And of course, you'll have to go back to USA Job to apply. But this just gives you an avenue to kind of really explore and map out your future. So take a look at this. I I think folks will send it out to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to that unit and kind of talk with them about, hey, you know what, I saw this position that's on the box. What's it look like? And then one other thing that I forgot to mention is one of the most important things that you've gained out of this experience is your networking, your connection. You've learned you've met other people, and I think they're all just as excited as I am to see you grow and look forward to your growth. So thank you for that, Go Back.
Yeah, thanks so much, Greta, for that tool. It's really exciting to kind of see it all come together and to have it available for folks. So yeah, take advantage of that tool and the others that you'll receive through the program as you're looking for your next step. All right, so final call for any questions or any of our liaisons that would like to get on and share anything with the RAs. Doesn't seem like we're gonna have any takers right now. All right, so oh, Merlene.
Hi, I'm sorry I joined late, lots of meetings. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Merlene Mazik, and I am the Assistant Director in the National Partnership Office, overseeing the Workforce Development Partnership Team. And the RAP program, the RAP, Resource Assistance Program, is, as you all know, our flagship. And it has become increasingly a resource to the Forest Service and to help us fill critical positions in the Forest Service. As you all know, we are constantly hiring, and we want to be able to make good matches based upon your skill sets and your interests. So before I even go there, I just want to say thank you for being for joining us, for giving the Forest Service a chance to have your a kind of like entry-level experience into the natural resources career field, and to allow us to, number one, learn from you, but we certainly hope that you learn from this experience as well. The Forest Service is only as strong as the quality of the candidates that we bring onto our staff, and we know that that we're going to be a better and a smarter and a more progressive workplace when we can successfully recruit and hire young people who think very differently from, somebody my age, see my hair, the gray, and others, as you all know, that Forest Service is an aging workforce. We're older people, and we're not going to be able to sustain this public lands legacy if we can't bring in young people who have new ideas and new ways of getting this important work done. So my heartfelt thanks for you seeing Forest Service as a pathway to at least begin to think about your future and your career. I know that some of you are going to go into the private sector, and we're all for that, because you're going to take the values and the experiences that you've had here in the forest into the private sector, and that's okay. I hope that a lot of you will say to us, I want a job. And the Forest Service leadership, that workforce entry team that Greta mentioned, they're committed to ensuring that every single RA that comes to this program has a good match. So if you aren't getting that match that is working for you, then you need to let us know so that we can do whatever we need to do to help you find the opportunity that's going to be a good fit for you. And hold us accountable for that. I was heartened to see messages from our various regions and staffs who are helping us with recruitment and outreach and filling these positions. I'm so glad you all, even if you could not join the spotlight for the full time, that you dropped in your message and your connection into the chat so that folks can reach out. If you are finding that you are struggling to make those connections, then, let the RAP team know, because, they have access and they are encouraged to use it. And we all do. So again, my thanks. I hope that you learned something from this experience, that you're still learning something from this experience, and that maybe I'll see you in the hallways of Yates one day, or on a forest or grassland or prairie or research station, doing your thing, and making our public lands legacy a reality for generations to come. So again, my thanks. And thank you to the team and all the mentors who make this possible, because none of this works if everyone who's a part of this experience isn't giving 100%. So just want to acknowledge all of the mentors who have come on board and who are willing to be a part of this this special flagship program of the Forest Service. And with that, thanks.
Yes, thanks so much, Marlene. Anyone else? Anita?
Hi. Yeah, I want to echo what Marlene said, and also add that my name is Anita Rose, and I lead the Air Quality and Climate Change Program in Region 3. And I was Joey's mentor. Joey unfortunately had to drop off. He's off doing all kinds of cool field stuff in Arizona this week, so super happy for him. But big believer in this program, and I think I have probably learned as much as the RAs I've interacted with. So it's been a real, learning experience for me as well. And I hope the RAs on the call and all of those in the cohorts will consider joining the Forest Service. It is really important that we engage young folks and increase our diversity and all that good stuff. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the RAP program. You guys put so much work into this, and it really shows that your heart and soul really believes in this, and just really had a great experience. So I just wanted to share that. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Anita. Hey, Amy, I see your hand.
Hi, everybody, congratulations on finishing the resource assistance program. Your work has been impressive, and I've been grateful to meet many of you through different meetings we've had and projects. So congratulations. And not to repeat everything that Marlene said. Well, first of all, I'm Amy Firestone. I didn't mention that, and I'm the Supervisory Student Emerging Professionals Program Manager. So I oversee the RAP team, and I wanted to just first say thank you to Lady and Michaela for stepping in at the last minute to be able to make this happen for you all today. And that's just, life happens, and we're here to celebrate you all, and done an amazing job making this moment special for everybody. But also I want you just to think about how you're going to give back. As an RA, and Lady was an RA, she is giving back in her current role, and she is helping to make this program even a greater success every cohort at a time. So all of you are leaders and future leaders in whatever role you land in. And just how can you give back to those who help mentor you and support you? And just think of the circle that we have here and the opportunities to connect with the other RAP alumni. And I know that Lady cultivates that group, and make sure there's an avenue for you all to communicate, even though the program is over. So just don't think of us in the far past. We're here as your family for the present and the future to come, and how we can keep giving back to those who come after us. So congratulations again, and thank you all for your service.
Thanks, Amy. What a call to action.
Mhm.
All right. Not seeing any more hands, so I'll pass it to the team, Michaela and Lady, to share any words before we close.
I don't have much to say. It's just been nice being on the RAP team and also just seeing like the RAs from my cohort doing the stuff that they're doing, and it's been a really good experience. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Mimi. Hi, all. Wow, cohort 6. You're the first in-person orientation, and so I feel like I had the most connection with you in just the past few cohorts, because yeah, prior to that was the pandemic and it was all virtual. But needless to say, I'm just so grateful that you've worked so hard, and I know that you've had your successes, but the path has not been easy, and you stayed and you put your whole self, with your passion, with your enthusiasm into your role, and I know that you've made positive impact in your host units. So thank you so much for all that you've done. It's been an honor and a joy to support you, and I hope that you have felt supported. We've worked really hard, and I know that you guys feel comfortable enough to just ask whatever you might need, and that continues after your 960 hours, your 8 months, your 12 months. If you want to stay in the agency, please feel free to contact us. We're happy to help. I'm just also so amazed by the work that you do, and the past hour has brought me back to that sense of awe by the work. And I know only 6 folks presented, but there's 80 of you, so I know that was just the tip of the iceberg. I can only imagine just how much of a positive impact you've given to your host units. I wish we can keep all of you. Please consider staying with the Forest Service, and yeah, we're here to help you to find a position that really fits well. But if that's not the path for you at the moment, I really wish you the very best. And you still do have your DHA certificate, which is your, as Sylvia has mentioned, your Willy Wonka golden ticket. So feel free to explore a little bit, but know that you can come back, and we're here to bring you back. Thank you again so much. I hope it's been a rewarding experience, and I think you're all amazing.
Oh, well said, Vanessa. Yes, everyone, leveraging networks. If you want to be here, we want to help you stay and find a permanent placement. So in closing, I just want to say thank you to everyone who makes this program work. Thank you to the presenters today, and Greta and others for sharing your words of wisdom. And I'm really grateful just to be here to witness it. So that concludes our program. So thank you again, everyone, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.